Look after him. He's a prince. Prince Tulan. Sergeant, open this gate. Stop! Mother! Mother! Come inside quickly. Mother! Mother!
Yes. Yes, this is Arnold Forrester, consul at Losia. Yes. Yes, all right.
Don't say all right that way, Arnold. Tell them it's urgent and you want to be put through directly.
They have to put the call through Cairo, Susan. Yes, I'm here. No, it's a code 3 call.
Now insist on talking to Bert.
Will you let me handle it, please, Susan? You all right, Tulan?
Yes, sir.
Now, if there's something you want, you simply tell my wife or the sergeant outside the door there, won't you? Yes, hello. I'm through to Washington now.
Yes, put him on. Hello, Forrester, it's Carter. No, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sure, I understand, Forrester. Hold on a minute, will you? It's Forrester and Losia. He insists on talking to you.
Oh, all right. Hang on. This is Burton. What's the government situation there now, Forrester?
It's getting much worse, sir. There's rioting in the streets every night. The troops are out and they're shooting. The present government could fall at any moment unless there's a miracle.
Yes, Forrester, we know all that. What, you think there has been a miracle? The prince? Are you sure?
No, only that he could be the prince. We haven't been able to positively identify him. What? I can't hear. Would you clear this connection, please? It's a code 3 call. Yes, that's better. The scar. It's on his left hand, I think. Yes, the left. I checked that. Yes, he does.
Good. Well done, Forrester.
Thank you. Burton. He actually said, well done.
Well, the whole story seems unlikely to me. My understanding is the king and the royal family were all wiped out.
General slaughter in the revolution. Still, the prince's body was never found. And there were always rumors, temple priests, that sort of thing. In any case, the slenderest straw is worth grasping at right now. Just take a look at the map. If the present neutralist government falls, it doesn't take a seer to see who'll take over then, does it?
Mm-hmm.
That'll mean civil war on a big scale. Not just skirmishing in the streets, but a long and bloody civil war. Get me the file on Losia, will you?
Right.
Still, if the boy is the missing prince, that'll change the entire situation. The people will welcome him. It's their one chance of avoiding bloodshed.
Well, what if it's a trick? Suppose he's a rebel and a fake.
Well, that's what we've got to find out, and immediately. Now, let's see. The boy was 6 when the king was overthrown. That'd make him 12 now. Probably his appearance has changed a good deal. Still, there should be some people around who would remember him.
There's General Syed, military attaché.
He died last year. Here, Miss Georgiana Bentley. She was the prince's governess, an old English nanny, now living in a nursing home.
Anna Ingiff, the king's girlfriend. Now, MI5 have quite a file on her.
Mm-hmm. Hilary Dullman. He was the consul then. He'd remember the boy. Oh, also dead. Here, Count Maximilian Corbin. He was the king's financial advisor. He must still be around. Well, that looks about it.
No, wait a minute. There's a magazine article here that was written in Losia at the time of the revolution. Now, it's about the prince being given a birthday party just before the massacre. And the man who wrote it...
What's his name? Michael Straight. Good.
It's odd. These demonstrations against us didn't begin until the boys showed up. We've kept strict security, but they seem to know something's up.
Well, they probably got your wires tapped.
You're Mr. Straight, aren't you?
Oh, my wife, Susan.
How do you do?
The others have all arrived, but I'm sure Arnold has told you. They're just in the drawing room here. I'll see that Mr. Straight's things are taken along to his room, will you?
Is this the boy?
Yes. He's very strange and shy.
No wonder, poor child. His whole family's slaughtered in front of him.
Do you think you'll be able to recognize him?
Well, I'm not sure. It's been some time.
Won't you come in, Mr. Straight?
This is Mr. Michael Straight. Some of you may have met him before. He was here in Losha as a war correspondent at the outbreak of the revolution. Miss Anna? She was at the court.
Hello, Miss Anna.
The king never knew what to say to Mr. Straight.
And Count Maximilian Corvin. He was the former financial advisor to the king.
Delighted to see you again after so many years, Mr. Straight. I hope we can conclude our business quickly, Mr. Forrester. This is too much like the last time.
You'd better keep away from the windows, everybody.
Oh, thank you. You helped me to find another seat. Nothing the matter with my legs, but I don't see
Okay.
very well.
Here, Miss
Oh,
Bentley.
thank you.
There we are.
Thank you.
This is Mr. Michael Straight, Miss Bentley.
Oh, I remember Miss Bentley very well. She was the prince's governess.
I remember you, Mr. Straight, by your voice. I always liked your voice.
I must say I admire you for undertaking a trip like this, Miss Bentley.
The doctors wanted me to stay at home, but not while I was wanted here. This is disgraceful. Somebody should go out and talk to those people.
Talk to them? Oh, no. No, it's always the same. My father was against Hitler, Mr. Straight. One day when I was a little girl, a robber came down our street. They threw stones at our windows. My father put his great beaver coat on, because it was the first snow, you see, and everything was a lovely white. And he went out to talk to them. Talk to them? They beat him to death in the street.
Well, they certainly won't dare to attack us, whoever they are.
I don't believe the years have changed you at all, dear Miss Bentley.
Have they changed you, Count?
No. You must have taken some pictures of Miss Bentley and the prince when you were here.
Unfortunately, my cameras were confiscated. I didn't get them back until the revolution was over.
What a pity. They could have been helpful.
There must be some portraits of the prince around.
I'm afraid everything was destroyed when the rebels raided the palace. My husband investigated very thoroughly.
Then all you have to go on is the hope that one of us can identify the boy.
I am certain that he is the prince.
I hope you're right, Mrs. Forrester.
Well, things are quieting down, but I don't like it. Those agitators out there are professionals. This is no spontaneous demonstration.
What's the government doing about it?
Oh, what can it do? Half the troops are refusing to obey orders. The police don't dare show themselves in the street.
Has a new prime minister been appointed yet?
No, no one has the guts to take over the job. The boy's the key, Mr. Straight. They'd rally behind him. That is, if he really is the prince.
And if he's not?
Then there'll be civil war. It'll be my job to get every American citizen out of the country. Oh, I'm sorry. With all this happening, I haven't offered you a drink.
No, oh, no, thank you. Look, Foster, the boy, have you run a local check on him?
No, it's too risky. We don't want the people here to know we have him in the consulate until we're certain of his identity.
Well, obviously, they already know that something's going on.
Yes. That's what bothers me. My instructions from Washington are to keep everything quiet. No announcement without their okay.
Oh, Washington, a lot of office boys thousands of miles away. Arnold, you must act. I'm sure that Mr. Straight will see that you get full credit, won't you, Mr. Straight?
Please, Susan, it's not a matter of who gets the credit. It's doing the right thing.
And your husband is doing the right thing, Mrs. Foster. He can't take any action until he's sure.
And perhaps we could make sure now before we all get murdered.
You'll all just follow me. Something you wanted, Mahi?
You want some coffee, Sahib?
No, thank you. Not right now. Thank you, Corporal.
Thank you, sir.
This is Prince Tulan.
Are we not assuming what we have come to try and prove, Mrs. Forrester?
We're already sure. So sure.
You are right. He was like that. His hair and his eyes like a fawn.
Look at the scar. The prince had a scar like that on his left hand, didn't he, Miss Bentley?
Well, I'm sure any young boy who ever climbed a tree has a scar. I know I have. Look, unfortunately, it's on the wrong wrist.
A few questions to the boy, and we shall soon know how genuine he is. Perhaps you would like to start, Mr. Forrester.
Do you remember Miss Ingiev, Toulan? She was a friend of your father's.
I am not certain.
Please, have the boy step more into the light.
I don't like it here. Please, may I go?
It won't be long now.
Try to be patient, Toulan. It's important.
Yes, sir.
I can't hear him. Tell him to speak up.
This is Miss Georgiana Bentley. She was your governess, the court governess.
How do you do, Miss Bentley?
Louder. Louder, please.
How do you do, Miss Bentley?
I don't know. The voice, I can't tell. If only I could see him clearly.
Do you remember her, Toulan? Or Mr. Straight?
No,
Any of the others?
no. I don't remember much. Only little pieces of things. I was little then.
Toulan, let's stop. Tell me, how did you get here?
My mother brought me.
But, Toulan, your mother died when you were born.
This isn't my real mother. She adopted me. I live with my brothers and sisters in the village of Mengwang.
Oh, I see. And you've been there ever since that time? Toulan, do you remember your last birthday party before the revolution? Well, I was there. 2 other correspondents and myself were waiting for your father to issue a statement. Then your governess, Miss Bentley, came in and said that it was your birthday, invited us to a small party in the garden. She had baked a tiny cake for you with 6 candles on it. Do you remember that?
You told me to make a wish.
Hmm.
Suddenly there was a big explosion in the street outside the walls, and the wind blew all the candles out.
That's right. That's exactly what happened. He is the prince.
Mr. Straight, everyone knows about the party. You wrote a story about it. How do you know you are the prince? You only remember a party. Someone could have told you that story. It was in all the newspapers. Why can't you remember me or Miss Bentley or your father's dear friend, Anna?
But I do remember some things, little things.
Very convenient. You remember what you want and forget what you want.
You're upsetting him.
I thought we wanted the truth.
Tell them what happened, Toulan. The old woman who brought you here. Please. 3 nights ago, I was wakened very late. It was my mother. She said I must get up and go with her to the city. She said, it is time you knew the truth. You're Prince Toulan. Your father's King Set Tisan. And it is now time for you to take his place. We will go to the Americans. They will know what to do.
And up until that time, you thought you had always lived in the village?
No, I knew I came from somewhere else. At night, sometimes, I would dream of a big place with a marble floor and towers, and I would wear blue silk trousers with red slippers.
Yes, he did. That was what he wore at his birthday party.
Finish it, Toulan. Tell them how you arrived here. It was very late when we came to the city. There were crowds in the street. People were fighting. I heard someone crying. I was frightened. We came to the American embassy. They would not let us in. Then my mother said, this is the prince. This is Prince Toulan. Then this lady came, but my mother had gone.
And no one had ever told you that you were the prince before? Do you remember how you came to be in this village?
I was in the United Nations hospital at Magog. The doctors did not know who I was. When I got well, they sent me to the village.
We can check that. The UN still has a base hospital there.
What difference would it make? He was only a number. He could have been a village child injured in the rioting.
Child, come here. Where was your room at the palace?
At the end of a long stairway that turned.
You took something to bed with you each night. What was it?
An animal? Yes, it was stuffed. And had a rip in it. I remember now.
No.
What were the old private grounds like behind the palace?
Flowers? Trees?
Flowers, trees, very clever. What did you think there would be, an automobile factory?
There was a lake there, too. Yes, a lake.
There was no lake.
A woman? A statue of a woman? Was there a fountain?
There was a fountain, Arnold.
Could he have seen it since he's been here?
No, it was destroyed in the revolution.
He could have seen a picture of it, or been told.
But I sailed a boat in the fountain. I remember that.
He did. He did.
Then what else do you remember, if anything? You had a pony cart. What was the pony's name?
I don't know.
What did you eat at breakfast every morning? You don't know. What color was the great hall in the palace?
Blue?
Gray. There was a painting in the main corridor. What was the subject?
Leave him alone. He is the prince. I'm certain of it. Look at the line of his cheek. That can't change. If anyone should know him, I should. I love the king. Oh, yes, you all knew I was his mistress. But I'm not ashamed. I loved him. Do you understand? I loved him. I see the king in the boy's eyes.
I'm afraid there'll have to be a little more evidence than that to go on.
Please, may I go now? Are you done with me?
No, no. Royal lovers, sentimental claptrap, colors of walls and paintings. Stuff and nonsense. I think I can settle this matter quickly enough. Child, come here. Come over here. Child, I want you to think. I want you to think very carefully. Before I left here to go back to England, you gave me something. You came to my room at night and handed it to me. Surely, if you can remember those other things, you can remember that. It was something of yours. Something very special. What was it?
I don't know.
You must know. Think.
I don't know.
You put your arms round me. You kissed me.
I don't know.
Oh, come closer, child. Oh, if only I could see.
Please, may I go now?
I know a way to prove with absolute certainty whether he is the prince or not. Now think. 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 Think, child. Go! Where are you, child? Come here. Come here, child. Oh, where are you?
Mr. Bentley!
My purse. Get me my purse.
Mr. Straight, thank goodness you are here.
Why, what's the matter?
The rest of our guests have vanished.
I'm sure they'll be back.
It was ridiculous to let them go.
I ask you, Mr. Straight, what am I supposed to do? We brought these people here to help identify the prince. Well, I can't lock them up. They're our guests, not our prisoners.
Well, they both know this part of the world very well. They've lived here long enough. I really wouldn't worry, Mrs. Forrester. They've probably just gone off to visit some friends.
They hate one another.
Well, obviously, they've gone to see different friends.
It was dangerous for them to have gone out.
I've got a patrol out looking for them now. They won't come to any harm.
No harm. Have you forgotten, Miss Bentley? You keep saying we desperately need these people to prove the boy is genuine, and yet you calmly stand there while our evidence vanishes. And look at this.
Hey, that has nothing to do with Mr. Straight.
It's a cable from Washington. They want to know what my husband is doing.
Well, no doubt they hoped you'd be able to tell them the boy was the prince.
Of course they do. They're anxious to prevent further bloodshed. This whole country is going to be at war if we don't tell them this boy is the prince.
That's not quite what the cable says. Read it, Mr. Straight.
Confidential. Imperative you supply uncontroversial evidence that the boy in question is Prince Toulan, or that you remove him immediately from the embassy. Under no circumstances must official policy be involved with this boy if there is danger he may be an imposter. Consider this priority. Sounds like they're putting on the pressure.
They certainly are. And my husband lets his so-called guests walk out of the embassy and wander all over the town. For all we know, they may be dead already.
Well, if you don't mind losing this guest for part of the morning, I have a hunch where I can locate one of the others. like old times, eh, Max? Still hanging around the Tasuni. This used to be your counting house, didn't it?
Too bad you and your newspaper friends found out about it. It gave the place a bad name. Do sit down, Mrs. Strait.
Thank you.
How dreadful about Miss Bentley. Especially since she was the only one of us who knew positively whether the boy is the prince or not.
Well, they're still missing you. She seemed fairly certain.
Yes, Anna was very fond of the boy. She should certainly remember him. Do have some coffee, Mr. Strait. It's as abominable as ever.
Thank you.
Frankly, I'm worried about your Anna. The king's death hit her very hard, you know. We planned to marry her. Only a few court formalities remained. The shock of his death, I'm afraid, has disturbed her.
Well, she seemed all right last night.
Very tragic, the whole affair. Poor woman. Lives completely in the past. I wish there was something I could do.
You know, Max, you have changed. You're getting sentimental. Very different from when I first met you.
At least you have not changed, Mr. Strait. Still as inquisitive as ever.
Yeah? Like, what have you been doing since you left the king's service, so to speak?
Import, export. In a small way, you understand. Still, one must live.
Well, if the opposition takes over this country, wouldn't that affect you?
Why should it? As you say, Mr. Strait, I'm no longer in the king's service.
Just curious. I thought maybe for some reason you didn't want the boy on the throne.
Why should you think that, Mr. Strait?
You were pretty rough on him last night.
I need not point out to you that if the boy should turn out to be an impostor, the consequences would be disastrous to this country and to your friends in Washington. And as you can imagine, this does not help my business.
Incidentally, Max, I understand that the royal chest was preserved from the Revolution. Where is it now?
How should I know? Probably being held for the king in one of the Buddhist shrines.
What do you suppose is in it?
Crown jewels, the king's personal records, perhaps other things.
Like records of those tax grafts you pulled off? You wouldn't want that brought up again, now would you?
I see what you're getting at. You think if the prince should become king, the chest will be unearthed and I will be discredited. Really, Mr. Strait. Assuming I had done such things as that, would I be likely to leave records of it behind me?
It's just a thought.
Believe me, Mr. Strait, I am as anxious as you to see the prince on the throne. I think, however, it's very unlikely this is the boy. Frankly, Mr. Strait, I have no wish to endanger my position here by being a party to a charade.
But suppose the boy is the prince.
And I should be the first to acknowledge him.
Max be nimble, Max be quick. That's the old Max I remember. Always ready to jump on the bandwagon. Once he knows who's driving.
I'm a realist, Mr. Strait. Why not talk to dear Anna? At least she is positive he is the boy.
She's not at the consulate.
Try the old palace. She's probably reliving her memories.
Wasn't it destroyed?
Dear me, no. It was a great tourist attraction before all this started. A monument to rapacity and greed.
So to speak. Well, thanks for the coffee, Max.
No one should ever return to a place where they were happy. You know who wrote that, Mr. Strait?
Thomas Wolfe.
He was right. Did you come here to find me?
Yes,
I suppose Max told you that I would be here.
that's right. He did.
Poor Max. He was always so jealous of me and the special place I held in the king's affections. This palace doesn't hold the same memories for him as it does for me. In fact, I'm surprised he came back here. But then you never know with Max. He always gets the best of the bargain and turns up on the winning side.
He seems so certain that the boy isn't the prince.
He's lying.
You seem equally sure that he is.
I'm positive.
How can you be?
I just know. I feel it. Miss Bentley knew. She told us.
That's not quite correct, is it? She said she could prove it one way or another.
If she hadn't been shot, we would all know by now that Cullen is the prince.
Isn't that just wishful thinking on your part, Anna?
Why should it be?
It could mean a lot to you if the old ruling family were reestablished. I'm sure the prince and his ministers would find reason to be very grateful to you.
How stupid, Mr. Straight. I made too many enemies here to expect gratitude.
Anna, you have no more reason for believing the boy is genuine than Max has for saying that he's a fraud. And yet, without any evidence, you keep saying the boy is the prince. Now, why, Anna?
I told you, he is like his father.
I'm a newspaper man. I can't buy that. I understand you've had a rough time since the revolution, that you've been poor.
Oh, yes, I've been poor, all right. In Cambodia, Lebanon, Turkey, most of the countries of the East.
Like China?
How do you know?
The CIA has a file on you in Washington. Just why did you go to China, Anna?
I went to see my daughter.
Your daughter? Is she still there?
Yes, Trina is still there.
That explains it, then.
Explains what?
Some people think that the Chinese are behind all of this. They'd go to any lengths, including holding your daughter as a hostage.
My daughter is dead. She was dying in a concentration camp when I went to her. She is dead, Mr. Newspaper Man.
I'm sorry. Anna.
Let me go. Why do you persecute me like this? Let me go!
Anna, why did you lie last night?
I did not lie. Why should I lie? I tell you, I have no interest in this matter.
You lied.
What does it matter to me whether the boy is the prince or not? I tell you, it doesn't matter to me at all. I tell you, I'm leaving this horrible place forever. Do you hear me? Forever!
Where are you going to go, Anna?
To your country, to America.
It takes money and papers to get to America.
I have money!
Who's given it to you? Who paid you? You just said you didn't have any money before you came here.
You can't do anything to me. You can't stop me going. You can't get the money back.
I wouldn't want to stop you. All I want to know is who paid you, Anna.
I had a typewritten letter. It was without signature. A native boy brought it to me the first day I came back.
You still have it?
I was told to burn it. Yes, I did.
And all you had to do was give evidence that the boy was really the prince?
Yes. You believe me?
I don't know, Anna. I don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
Sergeant, these people have come in from Zrenkock. Get some bedding for them from the supply room, will you? They'll have to stay till it's over.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and dig out everything you can. There'll be more coming. The riots are spreading to all the outlying villages.
Oh, Corporal, where's the boy?
He's still upstairs, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Straight, where are you going?
To see the boy.
You can't.
Why?
Don't you think you'd better wait for the others? He mustn't be upset.
He's going to be more than upset if we don't find out the truth, and right now.
But we know he's the prince. You mustn't.
Mrs. Forrester, is there some reason you don't want me to speak to the boy?
I know, of course not. But I think it's better if you wait for the others. After all, it is my husband's responsibility.
That's your husband's responsibility, too, isn't it? Tulane? Tulane?
Yes?
Tulane. I want to talk to you.
They have made up their minds about me now?
No,
And you have not either?
not yet.
I'm sorry for what happened to Miss Bentley.
Tulane, what was she going to say before she died?
I do not know.
She had said, I can prove it. Now, I saw your face. You wanted to run.
No.
Why? What were you afraid of?
It was not that I was afraid. It was just... Suddenly, I do not wish to be king.
You sure it wasn't because you couldn't pretend any longer?
No, I do not want to be king. I want to be a sailor. Even when I was little, I always took a toy boat to bed with me every night.
A boat? How do you know?
It
was a stuffed animal when Miss Bentley asked you. Why?
I had forgotten, but it was a boat. I know that.
Why didn't you recognize any of us? How is it you remember so many facts and yet you still forget what it was you gave Miss Bentley? How long did it take you to memorize all of this? You could be in trouble, Tulane. A lot of it.
Please go and leave me alone.
Oh, no. Not until I get the whole story.
Mr. Forrester! Mrs. Forrester!
They can't get you out of this.
I did nothing.
You lied.
Mr. Forrester!
Tulane?
Forrester! Mr. Forrester! Mr. Forrester!
Your key.
Yeah.
Mr. Forrester! Mrs. Forrester! Please, just let me leave.
The truth is the only way out of this now,
I
Tulane.
do not know what the truth is. I do not know any longer. I have lied. I have lied.
Mr. Straight, open this door. He's bolted it on the inside. Sergeant!
Tulane, if you lied, you couldn't have done all this alone. There has to be someone else behind it.
He told me there would not be trouble. He said I was exactly the same as the prince, but this.
Who told you that?
He talked to me all that I said.
Who taught you? Who was it?
He would kill me. He'd kill me.
Sergeant, break this door down. Tell me, Tulane, who was it?
Who was it? Was it Max? Was it?
Tulane, are you all right? What have we done to him?
I haven't got time to explain now. I'm on my way to see Corbin.
Oh, you're crying.
Max! Max! Max!
Yes, Mr. Straight.
I thought I'd find you here.
You've seen Anna?
Yes.
Poor woman. In her state, there's no knowing what she might not be persuaded to say, Mr. Straight.
Not Anna, Max. The boy. He broke down. It all points right at you.
How very dramatic. What diabolical plot am I accused of?
You paid Anna to identify the boy.
She told you that.
She told me she'd been paid. The boy told me the rest of the story.
But this is ludicrous. What advantage can this be to me?
Work it out this way, Max. If Forrester and the U.S. government had evidence that the boy was genuine and put him back on the throne, then you could move in and prove that he was a fraud. Forrester and the U.S. consul would be discredited, and you would be the man in power.
Brilliant guesswork, Mr. Straight, but not convincing.
No, I don't have to convince anyone, Max. You see, you made one big mistake.
Oh? What was that?
The boy really is the prince.
He's a refugee.
Oh, sure. You needed a refugee to masquerade as the prince, but you picked on 1,000 to 1 chance. You picked the real boy.
You're gambling, Mr. Straight. You're bluffing.
Miss Bentley knew.
Miss Bentley is dead.
Remember what she said? I can prove it with absolute certainty. Well, I think I can too now, Max. And if I do, what happens to you?
Very stupid of you to push me so far.
I know. But all I had to go on was a little reasoning. I had to get your reaction to know how close I was to the truth. Now you've just shown me.
And now I can't afford to let you go.
You pull that trigger, you wind up swinging from a noose.
Where do you think you're going?
To the consulate? You'll have to shoot me in the back to stop me, Max.
I'll count to 5, Mr. Straight.
Count to 5,000.
Oh, no, I'll get you to a doctor.
No. It isn't time.
It's best this way. I heard what you said, Max. You were right. Julian is the prince. Of course, Miss Bentley can prove it. I was stupid not to realize. I too can prove it.
How, Anna? How?
The little prince gave her a present. The king was very angry. For it.
Anna. Anna.
Forrester!
Yes? Oh, Forrester. Is Miss Bentley's luggage still here?
Yes, why?
Is her purse still here?
Her purse?
Yes, she asked for it just before she died. I know it's a long shot, but I'd like to see it.
I'll get it.
Is the boy still upstairs?
Yeah?
Would you mind bringing it up there, Mrs. Forrester?
Oh, yes.
Toulon, don't be frightened. Everything's going to be all right.
Keep away from the window, sir.
Come on. Sit down. Toulon, I want you to forget everything that Max told you and try to remember what it was you gave Miss Bentley. Now, you went to her room and you gave her something very precious to you. What was it?
I don't remember.
Your father was very angry with you. You must remember, Toulon.
She was leaving. It was all I had to give her. I pulled it off and put it in her hand.
The purse, Mrs. Forrester. This.
He is the prince.
The king's son wears a jeweled earring from the day he's born. Toulon! Toulon! You can't run away from them now. Listen. They're calling for Prince Toulon.
No, if I go back to the palace, I'll never be free again.
Toulon, listen to me. Your father was a very bad king. He stuffed his pockets while those people out there starved to death. And the government that took over from him went right on stealing. What they need isn't just a king, or a government, or a symbol, but someone who understands them. Tolan, you're still just a little boy. But all the years before you knew you were the prince, you were one of them. And you do understand them. Now, you're alive because some doctor in a UN mission saved your life. And some old woman who didn't even know who you were took you in. Now is your chance to repay them. All those people who helped you, and all those who will help you in the future. They need you, Tolan. They need a good king.
And what if I cannot speak?
I think you can, Tolan. It's inside you. It's always been there.